Alrighty guys, so today I'm kind of putting together a little video for people who might be new to the industry. Just a couple things that I see a lot of questions about on the Facebook page. So first and foremost, this is the chemical that you use on almost every job. It's referred to as SH, sodium hypochlorite, chlorine, or bleach. It's basically pool chlorine. I'd recommend going and getting it at like an Ace Hardware, a Pinch a Penny, anywhere that sells it in bulk. You go and buy little bottles, little hand bottles, you got handles on them, like this one over here. I normally never have these on the trucks because I don't buy them like this, but I actually wasn't able to get it from my wholesaler one day and I had to get a job done, so I did go and buy this from Home Depot. But these are like $6. It's not even a gallon. Now you go to Pinch a Penny or Ace, like I was talking about, here in Florida, you pay just about $2, a little over $2 a gallon, but you have to get it in bulk, which means that you have to have either a chemical tank or a bigger tank to put it into, and a lot of times you got to set up a commercial account to do that as well. Super easy. Now, so we talked about sodium hypochlorite. Next, we're going to talk about downstreaming. Downstreaming is what you would do typically when you're washing a house. It gets the mix to the perfect percentage, around 1.3 to 1.75%, depending on your downstreamer. And your downstreamer is this little thing right here. You see this nipple? What you do is you put a small hose on there, like so, with a little filter on the bottom to keep out any little particulate you don't want going through your gun. So you put this on the nipple, the downstream ejector. You drop this into your chemical, and it being downstream means it is downstream of the pump. You do not want chlorine going through your pressure washing pump because it's going to wear away at the packings, which are not cheap. I don't know why, but packings are easily $100, $150. You got to replace them every couple hundred hours, but with chlorine going through your pump, you're going to get your pump eaten up, and that's what a lot of homeowners deal with their homeowner pressure washers, is that they're running chlorine or they're running chemicals through that pump, which wears at the pump, and over like 2 or 3 jobs, especially if it sits and you don't wash it out, that pump's going to be bad. It's going to cost more for you to replace that pump than to buy a whole brand new machine, which is why I recommend if you're going to be pressure washing, you're going to be doing it a decent bit, just bite the bullet in the beginning and get at least a 4 gallon per minute machine. At least 4 gallons. This hot water is a 5 gallon. This is a 4 gallon right here, a GX390. You can get them on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, yard sales. But being able to have a downstream injector is huge. It's going to save you a ton of money in the long run. And I'll show you what I mean. So basically, this injector, which injects chemical to your hose, is downstream of the pump. If you follow this high pressure hose, you can see it coming out of the reel, comes right here, and it leads to the front. Now that's off my hot water maker, but this is the pump. So it's downstream of the pump, no chemical goes through this. This pump itself costs about $900 brand new, so obviously you don't want chemical going through it, and having a commercial unit like this allows you to get stuff done a lot quicker. Now these 390s are still considered commercial units. You can do everything you can do with this that you can do with that, but that just makes things a lot quicker, that 8 gallons as opposed to this 4 or even that 5. So we've talked about chemical, talked about chlorine. Another big thing that you want to use is a surfactant. Surfactant means surface acting agent. It's soap. It allows your chemical to hold on to whatever surface you're trying to clean and do its job a little bit better, a little bit longer, so you don't have to come back with a second coat. You can get away without using surfactant, but it just takes longer, and time is money. Once you get to the point where you have jobs lined up, surfactant pays for itself. So right here, I've got a Lemon Dancer. I like to use the cherry scent from Leon. He's awesome. Another thing you can do if you need a higher mix is not downstream ejecting, but X-jetting. I freaking love the X-Jet, my gosh. So what you do, you put your chemical in a bucket. I like this one because I can tote it around, hold on to it. This actually used to be Gold Assassin, a degreaser. Way overpriced, but whatever. And you've got your tip on it. Your tip is adjustable You can go from a fan like that to an open stream, which allows you to shoot farther. I freaking love this thing, and this can be used for more than just chlorine. You can use it for gas station cleaning, restaurant cleaning, to spread degreaser, and depending on what orifice you put in here is basically the chemical pulling rate. So right now I have no orifice in it, and I get about 3% out of this thing. I love this. It's 150 bucks. It's not cheap, but well worth the investment. Can't speak highly enough about my XJet. Next, a lot of guys are cleaning houses using guns. Guys, you don't need to do this. So, a lot of folks going up to houses with their gun, spraying it with a chemical tip, and we'll get into that next. But you don't need this. You don't need to get all up in the house and hold on to 5 pounds. What you really want is to rip off the whole end of that lance. Just grab the handle and make yourselves one of these. So we've got basically an XJet here, and then we've got a shooter tip. Now both of these tips allow you to pull chemical in order to do a house wash or whatever you're trying to wash. Let's say you don't want to do one of those, you don't have the money to do it. What you're gonna need is a black tip. That way you can draw chemical. So, as you can see over here, we've got our black tip, green tip, red tip. Now, a lot of people, you guys got a garbage bag stuck on his wheel. A lot of people just throw out red tips. You know, I mean, dude, you will eat through siding with a red tip. You'll eat through concrete with a red tip. See a lot of guys hold on to the green. I don't use green that much. I actually hold on to the red for really, really stubborn stuff. If I got to get like grease off of certain machines, you gotta stand back. I've cleaned trains in the past, and cleaning those trains, they've got we did grinding trains. They had slag on it from grinding metal. So these red tips helped out quite a bit, especially on in those instances. But getting back to the black tip, we've got our 60-degree black tip here. I believe it's 60 degree. But you see how big that orifice is as compared to the green? That basically allows your chemical injector to start working. You need a certain amount of flow out of your gun in order to pull that chemical. With these smaller tips, you're not getting the flow because the PSI is being built up, so it doesn't pull from the downstreamer. So that's basically the breakdown on downstreaming. Let's see. Let's talk about engines, motors, pressure washers. Now, I love this thing. It's paid for itself 10 times over, 8 gallons a minute, and like I could never go back to anything smaller when it comes to doing house washes or driveway specifically. I mean, I can cruise through a driveway with this thing and get the job done a lot quicker. I know a lot of people can't afford an 8-gallon machine off the rip, but what you got to do is get out there and hustle, save up all your money that you make from this and reinvest into yourself and your business. Because at the end of the day, you know, the business is what's going to be making money. Try not to go buy a brand new pair of Jordans or a new watch or a new phone. What you need is to reinvest into yourself. It's the best move you can make when running a business. So, surface cleaning. When you're doing driveways, you got to use a surface cleaner. You don't have to, but it makes things a lot easier. Basically, this is your surface cleaner. Hook it up to your high pressure hose. You go over the driveway, you either pre-treat, post-treat, or both, and it will not leave any lines as long as you use the right amount of chemical. What's next? Alright, a huge thing that I like to use as well is a sud sucker. So, you get those pesky little built-up spots in your driveway when you're cleaning that you can't drain, and you keep on trying to move and move and move. Well, this bad boy right here is going to save the day. So basically it creates a vacuum with the Venturi effect. I forget the scientific term, but I don't matter. I didn't graduate college anyways. But yeah, so you can put this down in the hole, suck it on up, and then spray it wherever you want to spray it to. I freaking love this thing. It's paid for itself multiple times over as well. Next thing I would recommend against actually is buying a RO window cleaning unit. I got 2 of them, bought them from ABC Window Supply. Awesome people, great folk. But in Florida, the TDS, total dissolved solids, of our water is unreal. We're at like 121 from the spigot. You need it under 10 to have clear water. So spending $1,000 on one of these water filtration pods I got right here isn't worth it. You can see the orange line that goes to the water fed pull as well. Ooh, here's a little tip for you. So I go through a ton of these chemical sprayers, and I actually fabricated this bad boy right here myself. But back to chemical sprayers. I go through a ton of these. You got to get them from Ace Hardware. So Ace has a basically a warranty on them, where if anything breaks, hose breaks off, or these things pop out all the time, they'll replace them for free. Sometimes they get a little stingy with it, so you just have to remind them, like, hey, I've talked to corporate about this. You guys honor the warranty on these, so I'd like to switch it out. Always be respectful. I mean, you know, sometimes people are having a bad day and you just got to talk to the manager, but do everything with respect. Obviously, you're going to need a ladder to get on the roofs. One of my favorite things to do is gutter cleaning, because I don't have to run my engines. I can make money, and you know, I do about $1 to $1.50 a linear foot for gutter cleaning. And you can get your clients on that like 2 or 3 times a year. Let's see. Next, a buffer tank. So if you're running a bigger machine like I am, one of these 8-gallon specifically, or even a 5-gallon, you're going to need a buffer tank so that your machine can be fed constantly, because a lot of spigots, they don't have the force to constantly feed the your pressure washer, and you can burn out your pump by doing that. Next, we are going to get into maintenance. Ooh, fun stuff. Okay, so maintenance, a lot of surface cleaners. I haven't greased this one yet, because I actually got it from a friend recently. But you want to, there's Zerk fittings. A Zerk fitting is anything that you put grease into from a grease gun. And most surface cleaners that I've dealt with in the past have the Zerk fittings. So you want to grease those things up so the bearings stay good. Another thing you want to grease are your hubs, I believe. Your hubs are on your trailer. If you're running a trailer, right in here, this is where you want to put the grease, and you pull this little plastic off and then pump it in there. Also, maintenance, you want to deal with rust. Sodium hypochlorite rusts the heck out of everything. As you can see under here on the trailer, I've got some rust starting to come out from my Rhino liner, and I'll get in there and repaint that sometime soon. Another big thing is quick connects. These quick connects go bad pretty often. So you want to keep a bunch on the trailer in case you need to restock them. They blow. Inside of each one of these quick connects is an O-ring, little plastic O-ring that creates a seal between the male and the female. I'll show you. Always want to have O-rings on the truck, in the trailer, whatever. Especially if you're using hot water. I use a ton of hot water, and I go through O-rings like crazy. My God. O-rings. Those are tips. Here's a couple O-rings. These are small ones, so these are for the end of the gun, but there's 2 different size O-rings to use, small and big. I don't know the exact size. Another thing guys run into is what tips to use on my surface cleaner. Well, your tips depend on your pump. How much is your pump putting out? If you got an 8-gallon per minute pump like I do, then you want 2 4-gallon tips. If you have a 4-tip surface cleaner, you want 2-gallon tips on each one of those. I recommend the 2-arm surface cleaner instead of the 4. Just less maintenance, it's easier to deal with. Another thing you want to have for your health is a respirator. We deal with a lot of caustic chemicals. Saving your lungs is going to be a big thing. You don't want to be 50 years old, not able to get off the couch because you can't breathe. All that bleach ate your lungs away. Let's get back to downstreaming. So, a lot of times, your downstream injector will go bad just because wear and tear over time. You're putting straight bleach in there. So it comes with a spring, and you can see right in there, a ceramic ball, and then a tiny little O-ring to go over the nipple as well. we'll go over how to replace this in another video. It's just something that I wanted to talk about today. Another maintenance thing is those packings we were talking about. Rebuilding your pump. The packings are in here and here, and it just one of those things you got to do. I recommend if you're going to get into this, you be handy with your hands, or at least willing to learn how to get handy with your hands, because I guarantee you there won't be a single job you go to where everything works the way that you expect it to work. And that's just life. It's one of the things that makes pressure washing kind of fun, is being able to problem solve and figure things out on the fly. And if you guys have any questions, please drop a like, leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I appreciate you watching, and y'all have a great day.